Chuck Diesel.
Hey, what's good, man? It's your man, Dr. BOA. A lot of times what we as men have to understand is this. Whenever you are in a long-term relationship or a marriage and it ends, especially after a nasty divorce, you have no earthly idea how to get back out there and start dating again. Because you've been what one woman wants you to be forever. And I'm going to be honest with you. Once you become what one woman wants you to be, you're not what the majority of the women are out here are attracted to anymore. And so when the woman leaves, you got to understand this. The woman is always kept abreast of what she needs to be. And the requirements for a woman after marriage are much less strenuous and much less demanding than they are for a man. The dating standards for women are low. There aren't any women who don't have dating options. There aren't men who don't have dating options. There are no female incels. You understand? There are no female incels, and there probably never will be. Because there is always some man somewhere who is out of control of his lust and libido so much that he'll sleep with whoever he has the opportunity to sleep with. Very few men have standards when it comes to who they'll lay down with. I mean, now you have men who may have lax physical standards in your estimation, but the women that they interact with are amazingly supportive or, nice or whatever your preference is in a woman. But there are men who don't need to know anything. We're talking about bare bones sexual attraction. There are men who are in situations where they just don't have any standard in who they'll lay down with. They simply don't have any standard. Now, you as a man who's fresh out of a long-term relationship, you don't have a standard either. Your standard is anyone who will keep you from being lonely. You understand? Your new standard of dating is anyone who will keep you from being lonely. Your standard is pretty much a warm body. A warm female body is all you need coming out of a long-term relationship like that. And I know, this isn't what you really want to hear, but this is the reality of what's going on, man. I mean, you got to understand as a man that you've been with one woman so long and you don't even understand that you became what that woman didn't even want. So when you come out of a long-term relationship, especially a lengthy marriage that ended in a divorce, mentally and emotionally, you're all over the place. Your self-confidence and self-esteem is very low. I mean, any man who has a woman leave him, divorce him, and take him through the ringer, his confidence is very low. Emotionally, you're not stable because you've had to separate yourself from your children, who you were used to being around every day, if they're still in the home. And even if they're not, after a divorce, children, whether they're adult children or minor children, they tend to have this alliance with their mother. You know what I'm saying? They tend to have this alliance with their mother. It is rare that these children don't have an alliance with their mother. So I want y'all to know this, man. If you're a man that's going through a situation, man, and you're fresh out of a divorce or a long-term relationship, coming out of a nasty breakup, I want to give you 5 tips on what you need to do in order to get back out here and get active in the dating game and meeting new women with confidence. The first thing you have to do is take your time. You don't want to rush back out into the dating game because you're emotional. You don't want to get back out here just finding anyone who will be with you and be around you, because women can tell when you're emotionally needy. Trust me, a woman can tell when you're emotionally needy from the onset. The very moment she meets you, she can tell if you're emotionally needy because your wording is going to be emotionally needy. Your interaction with her is going to be emotionally needy. You're going to be more passive than you are aggressive because you're emotionally needy and you see an opportunity to have your emotional needs met and you don't want to run her off. So you're going to automatically be approaching her like a beta male simp mangina. Now, you also don't want to approach a woman in sexual neediness. You understand? You don't want to come off hard up by acting like you don't know what in the hell is going on, and all you focus on is sex. You're treating a woman like a piece of meat. There's a masculine alpha way to do that, but that's not the way we're talking about when you're fresh out of a long-term relationship and you haven't had any experience with any women except for the woman that you lost interest in, and who lost interest in you, way before you actually broke up with her. So I want you to take your time, because your first inclination out of a breakup isn't to get with another woman. That's how men find themselves out of one relationship into the next, out of one marriage into the next. And what I want you to understand is you got to take this time to refocus and refine yourself. You got to remember who you were. See, this is the sad thing, the terrible thing about being in long-term relationships. At the very moment you become the exact person that's required for the success of the relationship, you lose your authentic self. You lose the self that you should have been. And all of the years that you stay in that situation under those circumstances, all of that time you are spending it not being who you are. So you're in a situation where you don't even remember the best parts of yourself, because now the best parts of yourself have been the requirements of a woman. So you gotta retouch with some of your old friends, man. Go to some of your old stomping grounds. Go hang around your family, man. Go hang around the people that you hung around and the people you dealt with when you were growing into the man that you were supposed to be. Because I promise you, the people you were around when you were growing into the man you were supposed to be as a single man are not the same people that you were around when you started becoming the man that you had to be in the marriage. You're not that same man. So I want you guys to remember, man, that the first thing you do is focus on yourself. Rebuild yourself. See, you've been broken down to your very least compound. Husband is the very least compound for a man. Very least compound for a man. Divorced husband is even worse. You understand? A divorced husband is the worst position you could be in as a man. You have nothing. You spent years building yourself up to be something, and now it doesn't benefit you in any way to be that same man anymore. The second thing I want you men to do, and this is a big one, the second thing I want you to do is get in shape. You don't have a woman there cooking for you, cooking all that foolishness for you anymore. You're not required to sit down to dinner in the family environment anymore. Get in shape, man. Find a YouTuber that's good at fitness. There's a couple of men that I can recommend to you, man. Holler at the boy Chris Jones at Pump Chasers. You understand? Let the homie Young Clinks, Steph is cold. Let him get you right. Or you can simply let Dr. BOA get you right, especially on that nutrition tip. But you have to understand, man, that you gotta get yourself back to where you need to be. You got to become the best version of yourself, because as a husband, you were the worst version of yourself. So you got to get back to the best version of yourself. Pull your finances back together. I know you probably took a loss in the divorce, but so what? The loss you took in the divorce is worth what you gained. You gain your peace of mind. You gain your space. You gain your ability to move about freely as you want to. Hey, if you stay married 10 years, it may take you 5 years to get back on track, but so what? Just think about it from this perspective. And I know 5 years may seem like a long time to get back on track, but think about it like this. If you weren't divorced, that's 5 more years you'd have spent being lost. So if it take you 5 years to find yourself after you've been lost for 10, guess what? You could be lost for 15. Every cloud has a silver lining. So I want you to get in shape. Third thing I want to do is get your finances together. Get your money together, man. Save some money, invest some money, do what you got to do, man, in order to get yourself back where you need to be financially. You know what I'm saying? This is a major thing, man. You got to get to where you need to be financially. You must do that. It's one of the most important things ever, man. Forget about all that stuff. Become a minimalist. Become a minimalist, and as your income increases, become what I call a minimalist baller. As your income increases, man, you're not going to keep living the exact same life, but continue to be a minimalist. Embrace the minimalist lifestyle. And I'll start sharing some real tips on minimalism with you, men. So, the fourth thing I want you men to do when you're fresh out of a relationship or a long-term marriage and a nasty divorce or a nasty breakup is find God, man. Build a relationship with the Most High. Build a relationship with God, and that's how you find yourself not in a position where you need someone to fulfill you. Because see, a lot of men say that, well, I don't need no woman. I ain't looking for no relationship. You know, but these same men feel like they don't need God either. But let me tell you something. Just because you're not looking for a relationship, if you're spending a whole bunch of time having sex with women, that's still a relationship. You don't get to break the rules and determine that you being sexually involved with a woman isn't a relationship. It is. It may be short term, it may be long term. Even if it's just intimacy, it's still a relationship. So I say this to you, man. Man, build a relationship with the Most High, man. Because you need him, brother. You need the foundation of masculinity, and masculinity is a spiritual thing. Masculinity is based in spiritual energy. You can only be a true man if you have a true relationship with God. You can. You can act like a man, you can fake like a man, you can talk like a man, you can move like a man, you can feel like a man, but you can't be a man without a proper relationship with the Most High. You just can't be that. You got to do what you got to do to become who you need to become. And having a relationship with God is part of that. Now, so we have take your time. It's number one. Don't be in a rush to go out here and get with another woman. Number two, get yourself in shape. You got to do that. That's where a whole lot of your self-confidence is going to come from. Because if you've been in a long-term marriage, you're probably not in shape. Unless you just a bodybuilder by nature. And then even after a terrible divorce, you still might not be in shape. Unless you're just a bodybuilder by nature. 3 is get your finances back in order. See, having your finances in order as a single man is different from having your finances in order as a married man. Get your finances in order. Become a minimalist. Get yourself back into a state where you can financially afford to do what you want to do, where it's financially feasible to move how you want to move. Number 4 is build a relationship with God, man. You need a relationship with the Most High. You have to stand on some spiritual essence. You need some moral fiber. Because if not, that emotion that you're feeling after that breakup may have you going out here, man, and jumping off into that pump and dump thing. That's simply just a lack of moral fiber. You know, that's a man who lacks a moral compass. And the number 5 thing I want you men to do, forgive yourself for being so stupid. Forgive yourself for entering into a marriage. Forgive yourself for entering into a long-term, committed, monogamous relationship. Only to find out that those things aren't worth the time and energy that you put into them. Only to find out that the woman that you made that move with wasn't worthy. I want you men to forgive yourself. That's the only way you're going to be able to move forward and enjoy your life, man. That's the only way you're going to be able to build a life that you want to live. You got to forgive yourself for making such a bad decision that affected your present, past, and future so much. Do that, man. And then, man, get out here with confidence that you built by improving your finances, improving your physique, and improving your spiritual self, which will in turn improve your emotional and mental stability. And get out here, man, and put your face into place, man, so these women can show you attraction confirmation. That's what I want you men to do. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
It's the book of Alpha running, man, homie. Read it or weep.